Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I all hope you had a fantastic weekend. Today, I'm going to give you a little bit of some motivation, some tough love. The topic of this live is, it's hard to try hard. Are you putting in full effort? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I was training in our basement on Friday doing hip thrusts, growing that booty, forever working on building my legs, building my glutes specifically. And I had a lot of weight on the bar and my legs were shaking. And I ended up sending this video to my girlfriend and she said, I don't ever look like that when I'm training. And I asked Rob, how could I explain to people what it means to work hard? And he said, well, it's hard to work hard. Of course, simple answer, right? You're in a place when you're working hard where you might be saying something like, this sucks. I'm uncomfortable. I don't even want to do this. Or you might even say, I just want to quit, or I'd rather quit. So I want to ask you, what does hard look like on your health and fitness journey, your health and wellness journey? For me, when we're talking about movement or exercise, hard is lunges, Bulgarian split squats for darn sure, split lunges, B-stance squats, hip thrusts, honestly, majority of my leg exercises, although I do like training legs. I just find that it is hard. And cardio, of course. But if a client asks me, how do I know if I'm working hard? And if I look at your data in Trainerize, and I see that you are lifting the same weight for weeks on end, you complete your max 12 reps every single time you do a specific exercise and you use the same amount of weight, then you're not working hard enough. You should see yourself progressively get stronger over time. And we do that by lifting heavier weight. If you are constantly using the same amount of weight and you aren't making faces or you aren't uncomfortable or you're not saying to yourself, this sucks, then you're probably not working hard enough. And I say probably, but let me just be honest. You're not working hard enough. And the gym it's a pretty easy one to tell if you are working hard enough. But I want to talk about trying hard in other areas of your health and wellness, about food prep, about your meal plan. And here are some examples that I've heard. If I've asked somebody this specific question, these are answers that I have heard in my years of coaching. So if I ask somebody, did you follow your meal plan? I will get answers like, no, it was hard because the kids were busy in sports and I put myself last. I had nothing prepped. I didn't get any groceries. I started a new job. I moved. I had family visiting. It was the long weekend. There were donuts in the staff room and it was too hard to walk away. Yeah, those things are hard. I get that. But they're also in your control. And if you lean away from something that is hard and you'd rather just keep yourself comfortable because it's too hard, then you can't expect to see the changes that you want to see. You can't expect to have better energy, better sleep, better sex drive, lean out, lose body fat. you can't see these things when you purposely leaned away from doing the hard things and instead did the easy thing or the comfortable thing. And I get being busy. Just a few years ago, I was an EA. I don't think a lot of people knew this because I just didn't talk about it a lot, but I taught virtual classes bright and early at 6 a.m. I then went and was an EA. I built my coaching program in the meantime of doing all this. So I would come home and interact with clients, do check-ins, create content, take courses, mentorship courses to build my business. But going back to being an EA, if you are a teacher, and I know there's many of you in this program who are teachers, and even if you work in an office building, you will be tempted with food that is brought in. And I'm just thinking about the staff room. And I was bombarded with the amount of food that was, in a staff room. And I've even done bikini competitions while working in a staff room where there's appreciation days, there's free lunches, there's baking that comes in every single day. Yes, it was hard to say no to those food choices, but it was also a choice. And hard doesn't mean that you don't do what you need to do to elicit a specific result. I get it. It is hard to start something new. It's hard to change what you were previously doing. But if you're unhappy and unwell and you just don't feel good with how things are in your life right now, then you have to make changes. Hard, and I'm using this word a lot, but hard is where it's actually making a difference. You're actually choosing something else, something different. And that's the thing. We need to do things differently in order to achieve a different result. We just can't keep doing the same thing, showing up the same way that we have if we truly want to elicit change. Things become not hard when they become routine. And routine only happens once you've done hard consistently. But in order to get that lifestyle that becomes second nature, it's gonna be hard. You're going to feel some resistance to doing things, like I said, until it becomes second nature. It becomes part of you. We are capable of change no matter what phase of your life, no matter how old you are. You are 100% capable of change. And like Rob said, it's hard to try hard. Just like I was doing my hip thrust on Friday. It doesn't mean it's bad. It means that you're pushing and you're going to elicit a different result. So in closing here, I just want you to reflect a little bit. Maybe this will be good for some journaling prompts this week, to do a little self-inventory. Did you actually work hard? Or did you do the bare minimum in your workouts? And this can even be something that you ask yourself after your workouts this week, as you're stretching, meditating, cooling down. Did you actually work hard, or did you do the bare minimum? Did you just get through it because you had to? And that's another mindset shift that you can switch automatically to, like, I get to do this. It's so, so powerful. We are so blessed, ladies. We're blessed beyond measure that we get to move our bodies. Not everybody has that luxury. And until it's gone, then you start questioning, man, I wish I would have. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. When you have the power, the ability, the capability right now to build the best version of yourself. You can also ask yourself, what's your consistencies like with your nutrition? Whether it's positive or negative, but just ask yourself, what are you consistent with when it comes to your nutrition? And that way it can prompt you to change some things that you're consistent with that maybe aren't aligning with what you want to achieve. You can also ask yourself, what and who are you blaming for your inconsistencies? So incredibly powerful. So I'll leave it at that for now. Of course, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to reach out, drop them in the comments below, or message me privately. And I hope you have the best week. Talk to you soon, ladies.